This is the first of the weekly PSI TV live. We're planning to go every Tuesday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern, and we're always going to be talking about things that are media related, influence, and influential reach. That is going to be the whole genre for this live show, anything to do with those three areas. So welcome. Today we're talking about leveraged media. In fact, what we're really going to talk about are 9 ways that you can leverage your media. Because guys, at the end of the day, the whole thing is that you cannot stay the best kept secret. If you're an author, a coach, a business owner, you cannot afford to stay the best kept secret. So this channel, PSI TV, Profitable Social Influence TV. We have a media presence, a Netflix-like channel presence on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Vida TV. Yes, we also have this YouTube channel. We have a podcast which goes out to 6 podcast platforms. We are going to be, this is also going to be repurposed as a blog, and we have our social media pages. So welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the debut of the live show that will happen weekly. So today, again, we're talking about leverage media, 9 ways that you can leverage your media. So welcome, influencers in the making, myself included. We're going to be diving into the exciting world of media mastery and how we can leverage our influence like never before. But let me tell you a little media secret. Did you know that the ancient Egyptians were the original influencers? Yep. They had hieroglyphics, the original emojis to communicate and captivate their audience and pass messages along, right? So that anybody who came by could understand what the hieroglyphics meant. It was a language of the time. They were the original communicators. They knew how to communicate and captivate their audience. And if they could do that with just pictures, can you imagine what we could do today with the media superpowers that exist? So grab your virtual spotlight and let's unlock your inner influencer together. You ready? Let's go. So what is leverage? Okay, I'm talking about leveraging media. Leverage in physics refers to the amplification of an input force to provide a greater output force. So at the end of the day, we're using a small amount of power to gain a disproportionately greater advantage on the outcome. And that is what media can do for your message. That is what media can do for your message. Let me just go back and make sure. All right. What we're going to be covering today are the 9 ways that you can leverage your influence using media. Number 3 and number 9 are my favorites. So make sure you stay through to the end. And guess what? If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe. That is going to be the way that I'll be able to see your question or your comment in the chat. Subscribers can respond in the chat. So there is a live chat feed and you can ask a question, leave a comment there in the chat, and I will absolutely respond to you. I promise I will respond to you. Okay, so we're talking about 9 things today: understanding the media landscape, building an influential media presence, leveraging media interviews and features, content creation for media engagement, engaging your audience through storytelling, handling media challenges, measuring media impact, the future of media and influence, and collaboration and partnerships. Guys, if you just look at even these 9 things, they are independent video topics of their own, if you really think about it. So I am going to be diving in and just quickly going over all of these, because ultimately I'm likely to parse out these topics and go deeper into them in different videos in the future. All right. So let's talk about understanding the media landscape. So when we talk about that, you have to, if you already know there are many media platforms. You know, we have TV, radio, and newspapers, but we also have digital media. We have social media, we have podcasts, we have blogs, and so forth. You have to decide, what are you making the media content for? Because it does make a difference. One of the most frustrating things that I find is that when I make a video, if I want to post it on Instagram, there's so much work to repurpose that content to fit the Instagram window. Because if I take this same video and throw it up on Instagram, it's going to chop it in half. So you have to understand the media landscape that you are dealing with. It does matter. Also, when you're talking about understanding the media landscape, you have to know the audience that goes to that media. So if you are trying to target the wealthy, for example, maybe you're going to try to appear in Highs Nobility magazine. You can tell I don't read that one, right? I'm not in that income bracket yet. The other thing is, if you're trying to target the skater community, then you might want to have a piece in Concrete Wave magazine. But if you are hoping to reach a 30 to 60-year-olds who have an income of 75,000 or more, then maybe you want to be on PSI TV. You have to understand the media landscape and prepare accordingly, because honestly, there's almost no point taking some of this content to children. Although if you will think about it, a lot of older celebrities do show up on shows like Sesame Street. Why do you think they do that? Because they understand the media and they understand the media landscape. They want to have continuity in their message, so they're reaching out in unique ways to different audience segments. So if you're trying to reach a younger audience with a message that's traditionally for an older population, then you have to find that third grade level voice for the content. So understand the media, understand the landscape, understand the target that they serve, and prepare accordingly. Next, building that influence media presence. Guys, listen. If I Google you, what am I going to find? I encourage you to Google me. And I'll tell you, years ago, I had this blog that had gained serious traction. And I had gotten an Alexa score that finally dropped below the 100,000 mark. So I was really having a significant traction on Google. That blog got hacked and there was no recovering it. And I really got depressed and kind of just stayed away off of media for a while because I was just so disappointed. But you know what? If anyone else has ever had an experience like that, I'm going to tell you, you're not really starting over from scratch. You're starting over from experience. But the point is, we do really need to have that media presence, because even if people know you in real life, they want to have you in person on a stage, they're still going to Google you. If you're going to buy a car, you're going to Google it and you're going to look up the information. Today's audience is an educated audience. And if they cannot find something about you on YouTube, if you have not YouTube, if you don't have a digital footprint, they're going to have, unless they know you personally, it's going to be harder for them to trust you. So what media does for us, it gives us an opportunity to reach an extended audience, a cold audience that has never heard of us before, probably will never meet us in person, and yet still have a way for them to know, like, and trust us. So you do want to have that strong digital footprint. And then that footprint, that message needs to be in alignment with your content, with your message. It needs to be in alignment. For example, I used to post on my personal page, just, you know, a lot of my personal diet, my fitness routines and so forth. And then I had a girlfriend, we're talking, and she said she just bought life insurance for her husband. I'm like, I sell life insurance. She said, girl, I didn't know that's what you did. Why? Because my messages were not in alignment. Well, to be honest, I did have a business page and it was there, but there was nothing on my personal page that even let her knew what I did. So I, just for reference point, guys, I had a financial service business and I went to media to get that message out, which is what I'm encouraging you to do. Then I just love the media space so much. And then voila, here we have PSI TV. So you want to make sure that not only do you have that strong digital presence, but your messages are in alignment with your brand. Okay, so those pieces serve you. The next thing is that this is one of my favorites. You want to leverage media interviews and features. Why is this one of my favorites? Because we interview people, we interview authors, coaches, and business owners on PSI TV. Okay, so this is why this is one of my favorites. And I have had clients repurpose our interviews to make significant money. So when you do an interview, it's not just that you did the interview and the exposure to that market. You should be leveraging that media in multiple ways. Should push that show out to different platforms. Also, one of my clients, for example, which is a great idea, which I share with you today, he took the video of being on TV. So not only what could he say, as seen on TV, or what as seen on TV is a brand itself, but he was on TV. But also he used the video content to prime the pump. He was sending our interview to his prospects because I was talking about him. I was elevating his brand. I was asking all the questions that would crush the objections. And so when he sent that video on ahead through email to his prospects, it helped to move them to being closed that much quicker. So you want to leverage the media. Now, if you are interested in this, another thing is that we have a media challenge. Okay, we have a media challenge. You can join the media challenge to go from unknown to discovered. And what you get in that particular media challenge is we help you build out that digital media kit so that you will be seen as an attractive guest to podcasts, to shows, to stages, to TV, to whatever. I can't tell you how many people try to pitch their show to me, their interview to me, and I'm just like, dude, I can't find you on the internet, and your pitch is very self-serving. It's just, so we teach you how you walk away from this experience with a digital media kit that is definitely going to qualify you for being on PSI TV, but is likely to be much better than what you had before and make you more attractive to shows and other platforms. So you want to make sure that you have visibility across multiple platforms. Guys, there are some platforms that we will have a dominant presence on. Like my primary platform is television, but I had to repent of my feelings about YouTube because YouTube was free. I didn't value it as much. But honestly, YouTube is a powerful presence. So you do want to make sure that you have you have increased visibility across multiple platforms so that you can access as broad an audience as possible. The next thing that we want to talk about is content creation for media engagement. I kind of mentioned that already when I was talking about how I was, I have these various platforms for you. So when we're talking about creating that content creation for different media platforms, not only is it a challenge to take this video, just throw it up on Instagram and make it work, but the point is that you do want to make sure that whatever content you create is valuable and is shareable. How many of you have been on Facebook, seen a post that you liked, and you had to ask the person who posted it to allow you to share because there was no share button because of how their settings were for the post? So you want to make sure that if it has anything to do with your brand, your message, that it's shareable, that you are producing valuable content. It is my goal to produce valuable content. I try to be entertaining as well. But the goal is always to give you value, to stack that value so it is worth consuming the content. Also, again, you want to repurpose your content. So guys, for example, this very show that I'm doing now live is going to be repurposed not only as a YouTube content that you can see, but it will be posted to TV. It will be on my blog. It will be a podcast. It will be a Facebook post and so forth. You do want to repurpose your content. That is absolutely important for you to have that broad digital presence. Okay. Also consider infographics. So those are also things that you can do when you're talking about content creation. Just don't make it stupid. Make it valuable. Push valuable out to the public. Number 5, you want to engage your audience with storytelling. So how I told you a story. I told you that I was in the financial media space. I had a message that I wanted to share with the public. I went to TV. That was before the days of YouTube. And I started to get a media presence. That media presence led to me loving media. And here I am, voila, I'm on PSI TV. You want to engage your audience through storytelling. And one powerful, emotional, impactful way of doing storytelling is through the hero's journey framework. Now, I'm not going to teach you the hero's journey framework, but in a nutshell, it was popularized by Joseph Campbell, and it's been used in countless myths, movies, books, where we follow a protagonist, the hero of the story, as they encounter different adventures and challenges, and then they undergo a personal transformation. Like me, I started in the financial space, and here I am now, a TV producer and host. Okay, so that is the kind of thing we're talking about. You want to give stories. Stories sell. The next thing is number 6, handling media challenges. Handling media challenges. So let me show you this. So this was this PSI TV testimonial from Mark Golden. If you wish, you can find it on my channel and watch it. Mark was giving me a testimonial for having been on TV. In fact, he's the one I mentioned that repurposed the TV interview, sent it out to his prospects to prime the pump. And if you watch that video, he'll tell you he's made over $300,000 through the use of that social proof. But when I posted that video, somebody commented, and the comment was, so the Geico cave woman, me, is doing interviews with the missing link, Mark. And I want to tell you, it's not really visible here. Let me see if I can go back. This video has over 3,000 views. But when this person posted this, I had 67 views at the time. Now, I can't say for that the negative, hateful comment, influenced this, but I want to tell you those 2,000 plus views came almost within days of this negative post. So haters are actually helpful, but the point is handling the media challenge. Once you do appear in media, which is one of the fears that a lot of my guests have, is like putting themselves out there is kind of scary. It is kind of scary. It took me a while to get to just be willing to be on video and to just accept how I look. Okay, I'm not, a lot of times I think I'm too fat, my hair isn't right, my makeup's not right, blah, blah, blah. But so there is going to be the media challenge, one of just being willing to be on media, handling the negative feedback, answering the snarky interviewer. There are snarky interviewers. A lot of celebrities get them, and they want to dig into a not so nice portion of their past when they're there to promote a new movie. So you'll get the snarky interviewer. Another big challenge that a lot of people have is even getting invited to media in the first place. So how are you going to handle those media challenges? I want to tell you that if you join our media challenge, you will get the tool that makes getting on those platforms easier. So that's one thing there. The next one, number 7, is measuring media impact. That's important. A lot of people aren't doing that. How do I know? Because when people apply to be on PSI TV, I ask them about their media presence. Now, it's okay when people come to PSI TV and don't currently have a media presence. Some of them have less than 100 followers on Facebook, guys. This is the state of the nation, but that's okay. So TV is going to help that, because when you appear on, especially on PSI TV, and I have an audience of my own. Now, I can't guarantee that my audience will like you, but because you're on PSI TV, they'll at least check out the show. Now, once they check out the show, if they like you, which is what happened with me and all the business coaches that I've had, I was introduced to this stranger that I never heard of before. I tapped into their content for, maybe they were introduced on a stage or whatever. And then I liked what they did and I Googled the heck out of them. And then I ended up, that's my business coach that I have now, Dr. Marigold, and he's my business coach. I never heard of him before. I saw him on someone's platform. I liked what he said. I Googled the heck out of him, and he did have a digital footprint. And then I signed up for his program. I can't tell you that will always happen, but I have had guests on PSI on my show tell me that my guests were engaging with their content, that they've gotten someone sign up for their show, for their conference, and things like that. Okay, so, but you do want to measure the media impact. So, like I said, this channel, this YouTube channel is relatively new, and I just got this new achievement a few days ago. On Facebook, one of my pages, I'm at almost 30,000 followers. So if you're not following me on Facebook, please help me hit that 30,000 mark. Okay, I really would love to hit that milestone of 30,000 followers. But my post reach are hitting over 82,000. So this is important, and it's even more important for PSI TV, because you guys want to know that I have the reach if you do come on my show. But you also want to know if you have reach, because even if your reach right now is less than 100 people on Facebook, but in a year from now you're hitting 2,000 people on Facebook, that is growth. So never discount where you started from. Okay. We're wrapping up shortly. The future of media and influence. Now, PSI TV sits on Roku, Amazon Fire, Vita TV. But I started on cable TV. Cable TV is now a dinosaur. And some of you are old enough to remember the days where television was black and white, and it had 2 or 3 shows, and it was done by 9 o'clock at night. TV has been evolving. TV is continuing to evolve. The whole media landscape continues to evolve. There was a time there was no YouTube and there was no social media. Today we have those. But the future of media is still growing. So some of the things the trends that I'm watching that are emerging are, for example, AI technology. Okay, AI technology is definitely impacting media. Today we have talking heads that are not even real. They're AI generated with AI generated voice. We have interactive content on PSI TV. Depending on the package that our guests pick, you can have if you're selling a book, for example, your book sale can happen right on the channel. We have a way to create interactive content. There's also user-generated content. That's a new area that's thriving and trending in media. User-generated content is when you allow your platform to, like Facebook, all of us on Facebook are user-generated content. All of us on YouTube is user-generated content, all right? Last but not least, is the collaboration and partnerships. I will admit, I've not been very good at collaboration and partnerships, but that's about to change. If you can hear my birdies, I apologize. We recently had a situation, and because of the repairs that's going on, we did have to move them. So I apologize if they're bothering you. But anyway, collaboration and partnerships. I've not been very good about that, just because I'm Christian, and when it comes to, so PSI TV is its own brand, but I have another channel, guys. So I have a channel called The Bible on Business, and that's really where I started. I started in the finance space, and my book, The Bible on Business, was a bestseller. I had other bestsellers, and that content was shared on another YouTube channel, which I did not optimize because I was just throwing videos up there. But the point was, being Christian and having a very, I'm very locked into my faith. And I'm not going to share that stage with someone else that has a different brand alignment or doesn't share that belief system. And because of that, on that channel, you're not going to see a lot of other people's faces and content appearing with mine. However, that changed, and PSI TV is 100% collaboration. But this is extending even further. So we're now offering a partnership of sorts. If you have a podcast that is at least a year old, has a minimum of 24 podcast shows, and you have a YouTube presence, we're calling for a partnership because PSI TV wants to know who these podcasters are. We're both in the same business where we're interviewing guests and allowing them to have an expanded reach to our audience. And what was happening with me is that when I interviewed a guest, they would ask me, Trudy, where else can I go? What next? And even though I do promote 2 particular podcast directories, and I shared that with them, they were like, well, a lot of those podcasters in that directory are a waste of time. They're startups. They have no experience. They don't know what they're doing. And so I decided to create a collaboration with podcasters who have a clue. So if you're one of those, definitely reach out to me, because I am creating a short list so that I can share that short list with my guests as their what next. Okay. So that's it for today. We are right up on 11 a.m. So thank you so much for joining me today on our debut, the first official live show for PSI TV, our weekly show that we're committing to bring to you every Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Thank you so much. And I'm super simple to find. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And I do look forward to connecting with you.